Hello everybody, it's Max. I'm currently walking through botanical gardens in a well-lit area in the middle of the night on a run. I suppose I'm not running anymore, but that much is obvious. Now this is, like most of my videos that I produce, very spontaneous. I actually have never sat down and written out a rough plan or schedule to begin a video, or just any sort of real basis to build my video upon. So I think that creates a nice environment for me because it tests me to pull ideas out of a hat, and that's not to destroy the validity of the statements or the information that I bring forward, although it is obviously going to be less constructed, and perhaps there would have been better words or better examples that I could have used. But nonetheless, I'm recording this video. Now, I decided to shoot from the hip and record this video on a whim as a result of some internal frustration that I've been experiencing recently. Also, can I take a moment to, crazy here. Take a moment to look how beautiful this botanic garden is. It's actually in Brisbane. If you come here at night, you're likely to see me. So, the idea that's been stewing in my head today is one regarding resentment. Now, somebody who I've really looked up to in the past, Jordan Peterson, he actually set this boundary of, I suppose, experience, in that one should not become resentful. I'm not sure whether that's the right way to describe it, but I'm going to roll with it for sake of time. So resentment is a funny thing. I think I've grappled with it in the past, in my youth. Obviously I'm still young, but I'm using it to reflect upon maybe 16 or 17. During my youth, as I said, I wasn't super favorable as a social partner, or a sexual one at that. I wasn't particularly looked upon as a prime candidate for much in way of human interaction, which is okay, but I think there was some resentment in the turmoil of that time, particularly against friendships and past relationships. Misdirected resentment. I should have become more resilient rather than facing things negatively. So it's not something I haven't experienced, but it's something that I haven't experienced to a great extent. But I feel that marker slipping. I feel myself becoming more resentful. And I know that it's not necessarily beneficial for me or anybody around me. And the reason I'm speaking like that is because we are a part of a society. So being agreeable and sociable is sort of in part and parcel of being a human, and I've come to terms with that. Although I would like increased solitude, perhaps towards the end of my life, which we don't know when it will occur, which I don't know. Well, no, we all know when it occurs. It isn't exactly in my hands, but I'd like to think it is. That's a philosophical discussion for another time, though. So, the reason that my resentment is boiling up and over is my disdain for the people that I'm constantly experiencing. The more I am alive, the more I experience. The more conversations, the more interactions I have. This is granted, unless I run into a cabin in the woods. And I'd like to think that with experience and time, one becomes more contemplative and could sort of retroactively place themselves in conversations since gone, whilst in a current conversation, and monitor how it is going, the body language, whether things are repeated. And something that I've found that really saps from me is our blatant disregard for intentional conversation. It's something I lack in day-to-day interaction. People don't even make slight incisions into conversation. It's all disingenuous chit-chat. It's weak small talk that falls flat on my ears, and I do not enjoy it. It's a waste of my time. Frankly, it is a waste of their time. Nobody wants to engage in a scenario in which the other person quite literally has a dialogue tree with very minimal wiggle room, of which they're going to pick and choose a very simplistic response to a mundane answer or question. Now, obviously the question posed would be by me, but that is sort of what society does. I know that me falling to pleasantries is sort of hypocritical, but I will not initially attempt to engage in such boring conversation. I like to poke and nudge and feel out what sort of person I'm going to. And of course, if after a couple of times they are non-receptive to more complex conversation, I'm going to nip it in the bud and begin to robotically respond as they do. It saves me energy, it saves me cognition, and I'm all for that. I don't wish to sap from my limited energy. But I just feel like I see so much of this. And I see everyone's slight plane of observation is so drowned in stimulus. And people hardly like to peer within things. They don't want to pierce through a question or pierce through an object or subject. Everyone is just interested in shallow, flat thinking. It's as though they were all placed in some I can't say that on here, I don't think, at least. But it's a shame. It really is a shame. I feel like I'm alone in this world sometimes. Because nobody... I don't want to be like Jaden Smith in that infamous meme where he says, "We just talk about the political and economic state of the world right now." I am not interested in becoming a meme, but I don't know whether this is anybody else's experience. It's certainly mine, and I really wish someone was challenging. I have a few friends who are challenging, but I interact with them not nearly enough as I should. So it's a shame, but I feel very alienated. I feel like what I'm searching for is very different to what everybody else is after. I don't want a cheap fix. I want something long-standing, complex, and meaningful. I don't want to become resentful, but these people give me little hope, or little they just don't, I don't feel met in these conversations, and I'm surprised others might feel met from these conversations. People are weird. I'm a weird person, so I can say that. Anywho.